Welcome to Car Shopping Questions and Answers. If you're car shopping right now, or you will be in the next 6 months, I want you to type me in the comments. If you are car shopping right now, or you will be in the next 6 months, type me in the comments. I'm here to talk to the people who are locked in, who care about their money for the next 30, 45 minutes about buying and leasing cars below market value. There's only three prices you can pay with any car. Market value, that's the price everyone pays. Negotiators pay market value. Above market value is people who just don't know how to negotiate at all, have no strategy. They're going to pay above market value. And then below market value. Below market value is reserved for the people with strategies, not negotiators. The reason we get below market deals is because we employ online strategies that are very easy to use, where we put dealers and banks against each other while we sit and relax at home. So start typing your questions. I do these live streams a couple days throughout the week to make sure you have all the answers you need to be able to buy, lease, and sell cars for the maximum money. And that's all we do here. So everything we'll be talking about is out of my new book. It's called It's called Cars from Home: 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's 5-star rated, and you can get your copy for the next 30 minutes as part of my welcome offer for 75% off. It's normally $97, but if you get to my TikTok bio or my Instagram bio before 30 minutes is up, you got yours for $24. It'll be in your inbox in 2 or 3 minutes. I also have a comment on YouTube or in the Facebook comments for you to activate your 75% off. That's everything we'll be talking about today. Let's go with the first question, Dolan. Let's get the show on the road. And let's get to some unlearning and relearning. Philly Speed, the last car I bought, the dealership wanted me to use their financing instead of my pre-approval. So we always let the dealership see if they can beat the financing we have, but we also come in prepared. And now you got to be careful now, because banks are now scamming. Banks are locking people in with hard credit pull pre-approvals. So they know that the people are hip to pre-approvals. And so I want you to pay very close attention to any company, dealership included, that tries to lock you in, because that's the exact opposite of what we do. We do not let banks and dealerships lock us in, because that prevents us from shopping their competition. And the way that you save the big money, not the hundreds, if you want to save the thousands, the 3,000s, the 5,000s, the 10,000s, and more, is you're putting dealers and banks against each other. That is the name of the game, and that allows you to save more money than you've ever saved without being you could be the world's worst negotiator. You could be a horrible negotiator, and putting dealers and banks against each other is going to be how you save more money than the best negotiator in the world. So we don't do pre-approvals unless they're soft credit pull. If they're soft credit pull, we'll use the pre-approval to budget, because the only purpose of a pre-approval is to budget. Who's a homeowner? Type me if you're a homeowner. You know you got a pre-approval, or you got pre-approved for your mortgage to budget. They told you, based on your credit, based on your income, you could afford this much house, 300,000, 400,000, 600,000. They told you this is what your interest rate would be. This is what your monthly mortgage payment would be with taxes and insurance. So the only purpose for pre-approvals is budgeting. So now, when you don't, the reason why I hate bad pre-approvals, in my book I call them restricted pre-approvals, is because, one, they're going to activate the rate shopping window. Thanks, Dawn. The rate shopping window is a period of time that the credit bureaus give you to let multiple banks and lenders access your credit with a hard pull to compete. So within a 14-day period, you can have 20 banks access your credit, give you their best rate, so that you know you got the best rate because you created competition. Now, once you activate the first hard pull, the clock starts ticking. The clock starts ticking. And when you start, even see, You think this is your bank. It's not your bank. You don't own it. We don't own these banks. These are for-profit companies. Just like somebody said to me the other day at the gym, hey, I went to my car dealer and they told me this. I said, you own a car dealership? He said, oh, no, I meant the dealership that sold me the car. Okay, use those words wisely because it's not your dealership and it's not your bank. These people would not even want to know you if you weren't giving them money. So now that you actually know the truth and you're aware of what that is, let's start putting these people against each other so you can find out that these people aren't truly your friend. So the way we do it, I have a strategy I call the bank bidding war. This is what the credit bureaus allow. Again, you can Google Experian rate shopping, and you'll see an entire blog post that Experian put together saying how they allow you to rate shop with the hard pull, and at the end of the window, as long as you have multiple lenders within that period of time, not multiple dealers, not dealers running your credit, lenders, independent lenders, banks, credit unions, you're fine. At the end of the window, it's going to weigh on your credit like one hard inquiry. So if one hard inquiry would have lowered your credit score 10 points, 20 hard inquiries are going to lower your credit score the same 10 points because they see you're shopping for your rate. You don't get penalized for being diligent. You get rewarded because they know if you're shopping for your rate, you care about the $2,000 and $3,000 and $5,000 in your loan that you could save by getting the best interest rate. So we do this after we find our car, Philly Speed, because once we find our car, first of all, let me say this one thing. We separate who we buy our car from who we get our loan from. These two different people, because whoever wins the bid gets our loan. Whoever wins the bid gets to sell us a car. It's not the same person. It's not the same companies. What's up, Sheila? Good to see you, Sheila. So this is so once we find the dealer who's going to sell us the car, they win the bid, used car, new car. We now lock that car up with a deposit. Now we come home, we do all our rate shopping online, banks, credit unions, online lenders. I have resources in my book where you have online credit unions. Let all these people compete. Then we call the dealer and we see if they can beat it. This is how we guarantee that we're not paying 7.2% interest when we could have been paying 5.9% interest. We're not paying 6.9 when we could have been paying 5.19. That's big money. And I know you haven't been taught that. You've been taught, oh, let me just focus on this, my monthly payment. That's one of the worst things you could do, is being a payment shopper. Being a payment shopper, hey, give me the $400 a month for this car. We got a deal. That is one of the, and in fact, that's the first video I made on TikTok that really introduced me to the world. Is the worst thing you could do in a car dealership. Just say, get me to this payment, we got a deal. Payments they can manipulate. $400 a month on a loan is 5 years, $20,000 on a regular loan. There could be $30,000 on a lease, $35,000 depending on the car. On a lease, could be $18,000, $15,000 with bad credit. $400 a month. There's so many ways to get this $400 a month. So you don't want to be mixing these things. You want to separate your loan shopping from your car shopping. And it's easy when you're paying cash. Cash buyers don't make these mistakes. Cash buyers still overpay. They don't get, unless they're bidding, but they don't make the mistake of mixing their payments and thinking, wow, just because I got a good monthly payment means I got a good price on the car. Absolutely not. You could have a great monthly payment, but you paid a terrible price for the car. Two totally different things. That's why we separate them. Go ahead, Dolan. I see a lot of questions coming in. Let's go. We'll keep more coming. Let's go. You ever had bad? Okay, let's go to the next question. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means. Go ahead, Dolan. Next question. Maybe it was a typo. Can you please let us know if there's any limits for gap insurance if I'm upside down? It depends on on the coverage. You need to find out the coverage. There are gap insurance policies that I've heard of that didn't cover the entire shortfall. So, for example, if your vehicle is worth $25,000, but you owe $30,000, you're upside down. If your vehicle gets stolen and not found or totaled, you're going to owe money. And I've seen this happen so many times throughout the years because people didn't get gap insurance. They'll literally total their car. And then so now you got a horrible life event that happened. You got into a car accident, and then you get a bill. You get a bill, and people are like, wow, where did I get this bill from? And it's like, your car was only worth 25, but your loan was 30. So if you're driving around in a car that does not have, that's not worth what you owe, but you don't have gap insurance, you're exposed. Something happens to that car, not only are you going to lose the car, you got a bill coming to you. So what I always say is, you got to know when you're upside down. You got to know when to get gap insurance. And you also have to know you don't have to buy it from the dealership. You can call your insurance company, see if they sell it. You can Google insurance companies that sell gap. Usually you can find it for a cheaper price than what the dealership is going to charge. But some of the worst, it's insult to injury. It's not many things like losing your car and then getting a bill on top of that. That's almost as bad as like having a car that's breaking down and then you got to fix something on it, but you still have a car payment. So the car doesn't drive, transmission's out, but you still got to make a payment every month. It's like, those are two of the toughest things. So know when you need gap insurance. Don't skip that. That's not a smart decision at all. But then check the coverage too, because he's asking about coverage. Check how much coverage. Do you have $15,000 of coverage? When you get your gap insurance policy, ask how much is covered if, God forbid, the vehicle is totaled. Go ahead, Dolan. All right. Hey, what's up, MT? I'm in the market to lease my first Mercedes. I'm looking for an S580E. Make sure you get multiple offers. So let me give you an example of somebody who shops for a luxury car, gets multiple offers, and this was an electric BMW. Where's Teddy's deal? Teddy got a $73,000 BMW i4 M50. He got it for, he said he got 10 offers. Now, we use a process in my book, it's called the 25 to 5. When you're getting a new car or a lease, you're reaching out to new car dealerships. And the reason why the strategy is called the 25 to 5, because we're going to connect with 25 dealers online. Takes us 20 minutes. Using my email scripts, we're going to get 5 offers. So it's 25 connections, 5 offers, 25 to 5. Now, some people you'll see they've gotten more offers using the strategy. In Teddy's case, he said, I received 10 offers. I only used the scripts provided. Closed on a 2024 BMW, $73,000 MSRP, $856 a month. Now, here's what I always say, and Teddy is going to confirm this. When you properly shop multiple offers, you are going to see a wide range. If you shop the right way, your best offer should be $150 to $200 apart, at least that different. So your highest offer should be at least close to $200 apart from your best offer. And sometimes it's even more than that. So in Teddy's case, you can see the dealer's initial offer came at $937 using the counter offer calculator, which I have in my book. You get access to this calculator where we put all our offers in, and then it spits out the counter offers based on the best offer we received. He said I counted at $829. He came back at $856. That's where he closed the deal at. So $856, $73,000 vehicle. That's a 1.1% lease. The way you judge your leases is you divide the monthly payment into the total MSRP, and that gives you what the percentage is. So he got a 1.16% lease. But here's what's very important. My highest offer during this process from a different dealer was $1123. $1123, even after his counters. So when I tell you that 80% of dealers are overpriced, had he been inside that dealership that was $1123 trying to negotiate, it would not have mattered how great of a negotiator he was. The $1123 dealer is not coming down to $856 because the $1123 dealer is an 80% dealer. They're not going to sell the car if they can't make a certain amount of money. And that's what the 80% do. They'll discount and say that's the best we can do. They're not lying to you, but it's not the best their competition is willing to do. So if you're in a dealership that's an 80% dealer, this is why I said at the beginning of the stream, negotiators lose all the time. Great negotiators who don't use a bidding system lose all the time. I don't care if you're in sales, you say, Deshone, I've been in sales, I negotiate for a living. You lose all the time because there's no way for you to know the bottom of a vehicle. You don't know, is the bottom 7,000 off? Is it 3,000 off? Is it 15,000 off? What's the bottom? And the only way for you to know the bottom is to get multiple offers from multiple dealers and see the one who gives you the best offer. That's what confirms what the bottom is. So this is what you do. If you're talking about leasing an S580, this is what you do. You get multiple offers. On an S580 $100,000 car, you should see a $400 swing from your best offer to your worst offer. You might see $1,100 a month and you might see $1,500 a month from one dealer. That is from a different dealer. That's how different it is. Now, if you want to call around and try to get the quotes yourself by the phone, you can do that. We don't do that. We use email because I believe that most people don't like talking to car dealerships. Believe it or not, there are some people who do, and God bless them. Go ahead, do your thing if that's you. Start calling around. But if you're like, you just want to be able to copy and paste and use emails, that is all in my digital book, Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. It's already 5-star rated. Thank you to everybody who's taken the time to write a review about the book. This is one that we got the other day. Marguerite, I started pulling these up. This book is a must if you're thinking of getting a new or used car. So much has changed in the process since I bought my car 40 years ago. Think of it as a workbook. Even though you finish the book, you'll refer back to it several times. This is another one that I snatched. Deshone the Auto Advisor book, Leave Nothing to Chance from A to Z. He covers every aspect of car research, acquisition. I use the step-by-step approach from securing financing first to better understanding what I could realistically afford. Researched several vehicles, which led to the certified pre-owned. I reviewed my car specs, model years. See, what he's doing is he's walking you through the process I walked him through. That's what it is. It's a process. So when you get Cars from Home, my digital book, you now have a process for getting below market leases, process for getting below market car deals, a process for selling your lease instead of returning it to dealers and they go and sell your lease and make $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 and you didn't even know you could sell leases. You sitting here like, man, I didn't even know you could sell a lease. How much has that cost you? Let me ask you a question. You're like, Deshone, I didn't even know you could sell a lease. How much has just that alone cost you? If you don't know you could do it, you certainly don't know how to do it. There's still you listen, honestly, you might have been taught you can't even sell your car without the title. Who was taught that? I got to have my title before I could sell it. And I know this is true because when I was at the Mercedes dealer, people would walk in and the guy would be like, Deshone, is that the new one? I said, yeah, that's the new, the 20, whatever. I said, all right, as soon as I make my last payment, coming back to see you for that. I know. Most of the people are not going to admit it, but they didn't know. They don't know this stuff. So the reason why we have to get, I'm talking to you who are honest, who are willing to be honest and willing to take the bad news, because that's how we change. You cannot, if you won't admit that you didn't even know how to sell a lease, then how are you going to get to the point where you can sell leases and make $2,000, $3,000, $4,000? See, I always meet people with bad news because I care about your car deal. I'm not the person who meets you and says, hey, Milton, you're doing a great job. Brandon, Randy, you guys are just doing a great job buying these cars. Look at your deals. Wow, you're getting 1% leases. Wow, look at all these offers. You're getting $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 off on all of these offers. Great job. Oh, man, look at your pre-owned car. You got a huge discount. Originally, this car was $50,000 and you got it with good mileage for $26,000. Wow, you got a great discount on this pre-owned car. That's not how I'm meeting you. That's not how I'm meeting you. I'm meeting you. You don't even know that you should be getting the new price of a used car. You're looking at a used car. Duh, I'm looking at a 3-year-old car. Deshone, how do I know if this is a good deal? Well, we need the brand new price. What was that car brand new? Was it 50? Hey, when I was looking at my Infinity truck, I was buying an Infinity truck 2 years ago. I was looking at 4 white ones. 4 white ones. They were between $30,000 and $32,000. Now, most people would have just said, oh, well, let me pick the best one. Close my eyes, did a roulette, and they would have got in trouble. Why? Because I know, which is what I teach you in my book and what I teach in these streams, you have to get the new price. So now I get the new price and I find out one of the vehicles brand new was 46, one was 48, one was 52, and one was 54. Brand new. So all of those cars, when they were 30 to 32, they look similar. Oh, they look so close in price. But once I understand that, oh, this one's 46. That one has $8,000 more equipment in it. The price became far. It became clear what value was the best. Somebody would have picked the $46,000 car and said, oh, well, that one they were asking the lowest price. Meanwhile, for $1,500 more, you could have got $8,000 more equipment. This is value. So these are the things when I meet you, this is how I come. Deshone, I know I made a lot of mistakes. I'm willing to hear the bad news so I can get to the good news, so I can stop making these mistakes. That's all we're here for. And if you could take that, then we're going to be fine. You're going to be just fine. I can help anyone get below market deals who's willing to unlearn. That's it. If you're willing to unlearn, you're good all day. Okay, so that's what you do, MT. Get bids, multiple bids. You need to get at least 5 bids for that Mercedes before you make a decision. Once you get the 5 bids, you'll have a clear winner. That's who you do business with. Go ahead, Dolan. And matter of fact, let me show this Mercedes discount too. Just so you know, MT, we just had somebody who got a Mercedes. And just so you know how much money is in there, you got to zoom in on this. But this was a $79,000 Mercedes electric one, just like the one you're talking about getting, except this is an EQE. And Milligan got $27,000 off. That's 20. Let me put that back on the screen. If you're on Instagram, if you're on YouTube, you can see this. $27,000 off. So I don't want you going in there thinking that, hey, if I could get $5,000 off, that sounds like a deal to me. Well, unless you get multiple offers, or you could leave a lot of money on the table, you'll end up overpaying by like $15,000, $20,000 and never know it. Go ahead, Dolan, shoot that next one up. All right, welcome to the new people who just jumped on. This is Car Shopping Questions and Answers. We're doing rapid fire Q&A. Any car question, throw it up, type it up. Dolan will pull it into the screen. And shout out to the people who have liked the broadcast. Hit that like button. It means a lot. You make sure you run once you do that, you let the algorithm know we're talking big money over here. All right, ID Corals. What's the most discount seeing on a RAV4 Premium? You're feeling for the bottom. That's a losing strategy. So when I look at a vehicle like Tiffany's vehicle, Tiffany, look, she gets a Mazda 2024 CX-90. Her best offer from all of her bids was $6,530 off. At the time last year, Eddie got a Toyota 2023 hybrid Camry. Those were hot. His best offer at the time was $2,086 under MSRP. That was a time when people were still charging over MSRP for some of these hybrids and some of these Camrys. So you don't know what your offer is going to be. I wish I could tell you that, hey, a Jeep Grand Cherokee, if you get $7,000 off, that's the bottom. A BMW X5, if you get $6,000 off, that's the bottom. No one knows. And frankly, there's never going to be a way to know. The only way that you possibly could know is if you're in our network and you see people who make a deal. I'll give you an example. If I see Ansley picks up his QX, his Infinity QX 60. I see Ansley, let's see. He picks up his Infinity QX 60, $58,000 vehicle. He gets it for $554, no money down. He leased it. $554, no money down on his lease. That's a under 1% lease, if you're not aware of how leases are judged. savvy people all know about the 1% rule. So if your lease payment is 1% or less than the MSRP, you stole a vehicle. So this is a 1% lease, no money down. That's the only way we can judge a 1% lease, not with money down. So when I look at the discount on this, he probably got $7,000-8,000 off that Infiniti. He might have got you can't get that type of payment without getting huge amounts off and huge rebates. But he did not know that he was going to get that type of payment on his Infiniti. He did not know that he was going to get that type of payment. He went in, he shopped the market using our strategies. And just so you know, once you know how to do this, it only takes you 90 minutes to shop the market. When you see these people, look at Ansley's last sentence. Started the process Saturday, accepted a deal Monday. This doesn't take you, I'm not ever going to spend more than 2 hours car shopping to get a deal. Never. 90 minutes tops, I'm going to get a below market deal on anything. So when you look at the process of using a computer, this is what they're made for. See, the problem is you're just not using computers. You're not using the internet. You use the internet for Amazon, don't you? Don't you use the internet to shop competitively from Amazon, to go on websites when you need to buy something big? You're going to the internet. But when you need to buy something like a car, you're going to the dealership, not the internet. When every dealership in America has a website that you could be reaching out to them and making them compete. But no one knows what the below market deal is going to be, Cora. It's just ID corals. There's no way to know. We have people who, you saw Milligan, her below market deal was $27,000. It depends on the vehicle. That was an electric Mercedes. Sean's below market deal on a F-150 Lightning that he got was $20,000 off. Where's his deal? Look, Kimberly, she got a Maserati. That particular Maserati, the below market deal was $20,000 off. But as I said, Sean, $20,000 off. But Tiffany was $6,500 off. So when you see on the Mazda, so it's different for every vehicle. You have to understand that. And there's no way for you guys to know that. Unless you're in our group and then you see somebody get a car that you want and you're like, wow, if he just got 20 and he did that work, then I know the below market deal is 20. Let me go get it. But you still got to send your offers out. But there's no way to know. And when you try to guess, you get in trouble. That's what negotiators do. That's what negotiators do. They'd be like, all right, I feel like I got 7,000 off this. I think I did good. What if you could have got 12? What if you could have got 17? You're not doing good. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Absolutely applies to used cars. Our system in my book, somebody said, does this apply to used cars? Our system in my book is below market used cars, below market leases, and below market new car purchases. We also have the bank bidding war where we make banks and credit unions bid for our business instead of going and begging one bank to give us a loan. So we also sell leases and sell. So we run pretty much an organized bidding system for car buying and leasing. That's what we do. In a nutshell, what separates Cars from Home from any other channel? What separates my teachings from anyone else? We have an organized system for making people bid for our business. We send them through a round robin. That's how we have grandmothers who save more money than the best negotiator. It's just that simple. Rosalie. Rosalie's deal is insane. Look at Rosalie. And I wish some of you, I know some of you have these cars. That's the reason I show all of these different cars, because you might have these cars and you didn't get these prices. So that should be a wake-up call when I show all these cars, Jeep Grand Cherokees, QX50s, Mazda CX90s. Some of you have these vehicles. And you can look at your deal, look at your paperwork, look at your selling price. Look, do you see any rebates included? Look at your price and be like, you'll see, man, I didn't get these prices. She got a 2024 Infiniti QX60, $59,000 vehicle. Look, her payment is $592 a month. It's a $59,000 vehicle. Some of you lease this vehicle, you put down $5,000 and your payment's $500 a month. She put down nothing. So this is below market. I told you at the beginning of the stream, it's 3 prices that you can pay for any car. 3 prices. Market value, that's what negotiators pay. Above market value, that's for people with no strategy pay. Can't negotiate, no strategy. Just please, just get it over with. Tell me what it costs. They're paying above market value. And then below market value. Below market value is reserved for the people who know how to make people bid and compete for their business. Okay. All right, go ahead. Every time you get a hard pull on your credit, it brings down your credit score. That's why you want to mix them with, you want to have, all right. So first of all, you want to understand that this is called the bank bidding war. And this is an organized process that we created based on what the credit bureaus allow. The credit bureaus allow you to have multiple banks and lenders access your credit within a certain period of time, and it will show as one hard inquiry on your score. You'll see the inquiries, but the score, where one inquiry might drop your score 10 points, you could have 20 inquiries, but it's still going to be the same 10 points. And you can Google very simply, go to Google, type in Experian, which is a credit bureau, rate shopping. And you'll see the article that Experian themselves wrote telling you how you can rate shop. Banks don't want you to know this. Dealerships don't want you to know this, but we do this. So this isn't something that's new to us. It may be brand new to you, but think about that. If you are letting a lender lock you in to one offer, that means you're not shopping your interest rate. If you're going to Navy Federal because you're so gung-ho and super chummy with Navy Federal, but you're not letting anyone else compete against them, then you're not getting the best interest rate you could be getting. You certainly don't know it. You think because, oh, Navy Federal, they're my credit union, they would never charge me a higher interest rate than someone else would. Who said that? Their goal is to make money. So we use a strategy that is allowed by the banks, by the credit union, by the credit bureaus, and most people don't know about it. That's fine. Most people don't know anything about what I'm talking about. So everything that we're talking about here, most people don't know about selling leases. Most people don't know about getting bids for their cars instead of trading. Most people don't know about sitting online and contacting 20 dealers to get a lease quote using online scripts, emailing only to get 5 offers. Most people don't know about anything we're talking about, leasing, and how leasing saves you way more money than buying unless you keep your cars 8 years. If you keep your cars 8 years, then leasing doesn't save you more than buying. But if you don't keep your cars 8 years, leasing, getting below market lease deals like some of the ones you see that I've shown you, saves you way more, thousands more than buying. Most people don't know any of this. So it's not about that. It's about, will you know it, Dawn? I don't care about what most people know. I care about the people who are like, look, I want to know this. I want to know how to make sure I shop for my interest rate and don't let the dealer shop for it for me, or don't just let one bank give me their offer. No, it's too much money. You know the difference between, and I want to pull this up, the difference in interest between on a $40,000 loan, $40K loan, what's the difference in interest from, let's say, 5.9 to 7.9%? Because we're so busy talking about the money on the car, but we totally overlook the money in the loan. And we don't. So when in my process, those of you who have my book, you know the bank bidding war. You know we're taking shopping at home for our loan just as serious as we're taking getting the best price for our car. So look, on a loan period, 5-year loan, interest paid on a 5.9%, 5.9%, hold on, interest paid at 5.9 is 15.8, difference is 4,000. Positive comparison and interest cost, $40,000 loan over 3 years and 5 years. $11,000 in interest? That can't be right. Interest paid is that can't be right. Hold on. $7.9%. How much interest is paid on a 5-year loan? 7.9%. Could be over $15,000. That's impossible. 7.9 is that's impossible. Hold on. Now I gotta figure this out. I know it's a big difference. I know it's thousands different, but on a $40,000 loan, hold on. Wow. All right. So if I put in a $40,000 loan, 60 months, 7.9% interest, 0 down payment. Forget about sales tax. Let's see, calculate. All right. Principal, interest. Why is it not giving me? Here we go. Total loan interest is $8,500. Okay, that sounds more right. Okay, so on a $40,000 loan at 7.9, interest is $8,500. Now at 5.9, interest is $6,200. $6,200 versus $8,500. That is $2,300. $2,300 from 7.9 to 5.9. So when Navy Federal gives you a 7.9% rate and you're just like, oh, well, I guess I'll just take it. That's my credit union. And you're not shopping them. You're giving them money without even trying. And everything we do is quick, simple from home. But you need to understand how much money you have given to these banks and dealerships by just not making them compete. You're not just magically getting big money off and saving all this money. That's just not, it's too much money in car deals. Go ahead, Dolan. See, I see a lot in a lot of these questions. What I'm seeing is people trying to feel for the bottom. You don't want to use competitive strategies. You're not going to get there that way. Michelle, what's a good APR on a 2014 car? First of all, a 10-year-old car, you shouldn't have a loan. In my book, I teach something called the rule of 72 and the 10th birthday. 72 months is the longest loan you want to take on a car. Anything longer than that is like a 50-year mortgage. If you got to take a 50-year mortgage to afford a house, you can't afford the house. So why is the 10th birthday there? Well, that's because we should have the car paid off by the 10th birthday. In true affordability, you can do this. If you can truly afford a car, you can do this. You can get a car on a 6-year loan that has a payment that you can pay off by the time the car turns 10. You know who can do this? People who are buying cars they can't afford. People who want to get the Dodge Hellcat or the Dodge Demon and they can't afford the $70,000. So they're going to get one that's a 2017 with 90,000 miles on it, and they're going to pay 15 for it, 15,000. But the car is crap. Car's crap, 18,000, 20,000, but it's crap. Cars hasn't been taken care of, and they're going to take out a 6-year loan on it. So they're going to take out a 6-year loan on a car that is already old with high mileage. I've seen this. I call this the repo recipe. Some of you may have seen the video that I made on the repo recipe. The repo recipe created the rule of 72 and the 10th birthday, where I started looking and saying, by far, the amount of people I see losing cars to repossessions are people with loans on older cars. They own loans on older cars that instead of getting a nice, smaller, maybe less socially impressive used car, they want to get something that looks better, has more amenities to them, as more in a class of luxury. all right, Deshaun, I could get this 2015 BMW. It's it has 90,000 miles on it. They only asking 14 grand. It's a horrible decision unless you can pay cash, because all you're doing is investing in a car for 5-6 years with payments that is already due for repairs. At 10 years old, the car you're asking about, Michelle, is already due for repairs. This is the age of the car. This is the age of the life cycle of the car where repairs should be normal. 10 years old, the car should be paid off. And every 2 years, you go to your mechanic. Hey, what does it need? They say, okay, hey, you got to put 1,000 into it. You got to put 800 into it. No problem. Here you go. Let me keep my car running. That's the age of repairs. But when you're starting a fresh loan on a car that is in the age of repairs, this is what I call the setup for the repo recipe, because you're going to now get this payment, $400 a month, $300 a month, $500 a month, whatever it is, and you now have a surprise. Hey, car's breaking down. Hey, what's this light flashing on my dashboard? Hey, what's this going on? What's this sound I'm hearing in the back? That's because you bought a car that is in the age of repair and you just bought it like it wasn't. See, if you drop cash on it, 15 grand, I don't got no problem with that. Because now you're going to say, all right, Deshaun, I bought an older car, paid it off, but I'm going to put some money to the side just in case things go wrong. Perfect. But when you're making your car payment and you're paying your insurance and you're putting gas in the car and you have to do an oil change, and then something breaks and it costs you $2,000, you're gonna see the repo recipe, because you're gonna be like, wow. And God forbid something major happens, like the transmission goes, or a head gasket goes, or the engine goes. Oh, forget it. Now you're sitting there with a $400 payment on a 10-year-old car that literally you still owe $16,000 on, and it doesn't even drive. You need an engine. Happens all the time. I've been seeing it happen since 2006 when I got in the car business. And what's the reason? Older cars, long loans. Let's get these older cars, instead of being frugal and saying, all right, I could afford $300 a month. Let me go get an inexpensive, smaller used car that I can get something that's 5 or 6 years old, where it'll take care of me. It's not going to have all the bells and whistles because I don't have the budget for that, but it is going to be dependable. It is going to get me from point A to point B. It will allow me, it won't surprise me. I'm not going to come out one day to go to work and the car is broken down on me. Now I'm calling out of work and I got to call a tow truck and all of this stuff you're going to have with this 2014. So these are the things that I speak to my family about, to my friends when I was in the car business. These are the things that I would speak to people about, Michelle. A loan on a 2014 is a horrible idea. I can't even tell you what a good APR would be, but if you had said what's a good APR on a 2020, I can tell you we need to bid that out. We don't know what a good APR is. Is it 5? Is it 4.9? Do they have a special interest rate, 1.9? What's the best we're going to get? We're going to put it through a bank bidding war process, and we'll see. That's it. But a 2014, that's just too old of a car to have a loan on. Go ahead, Dolan. Everything I'm teaching is inside my new digital book. If you want the entire blueprint of everything that people like Pierre have used, people like Zafrina have used to get these below market deals, Teddy, people like Jared, look, Greg, some of you know Greg, he got his EV6 Kia, $56,000 vehicle, $527 a month. Everything that these guys have used and girls have used to get these below market deals is in my new digital book. And you can have it for 75% off. That's my welcome offer, but it's only for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, it goes back up to $97. So if you want yours for $24, head to my TikTok bio now or my Instagram bio, click the website link there, and then click the button that says 75% off new book. Get there before the timer so you can get your $24 book instead of a $97 book, even though it's worth it at $97. And if you're on YouTube, I have a comment for you, a link for you in the chat, and then I have a link for you guys on Facebook. But that's for those who want the blueprint. It'll be there. And make sure when you get your book, you screenshot the thank you page, because it has my support team's email on there, just in case you type your email wrong. Want to make sure you can reach out to support to get your book. Go ahead, Dolan. Does your book go into detail about cash purchases? Cash is simple. It's just simple. You're using one step of the bidding process. If you don't have a car to replace, then you're using one step. If you have a car to replace, then you still be doing the equity assessment to sell your old car. You just wouldn't need the bank bidding war because you're not financing. But for sure, if you use you'd be using the same process that Milligan used. Milligan used to save $27,000 off her car. Pierre, he got his pre-owned Mazda. He got 20% off certified pre-owned CX5. Used the perfect budget calculator. Spotted this best deal of similar listings, and then he knows how to get the original price to make sure that he got the biggest discount from the new version. Somebody like Vincent. Vincent gets a Lincoln. He wanted to get what I like about Vincent is he got more discount than he went in to get. I can't even see all of these people. Here we go. Vincent, he said, I bought a 3-year-old Lincoln Corsair under 45,000 miles. He targeted to get 30 to 35% off original MSRP using the multiple marketplace strategy in my book. He got a 43% off MSRP, original MSRP. See, that original MSRP, that's different language. That's language that you should be using when you buy a pre-owned car. There's no pre-owned car that you should be buying from this day forward, and the original MSRP is not in your language. It just makes no sense. How do you know what the price is if the price you're paying is good or not? What are you basing it off of? Market value? What the other ones are listed at all? That doesn't matter. What matters is how much was that car originally? 60,000? Okay, now they're offering it for 30. It's 50% off. How much was this car originally? 52? Now they're offering it for 30. Okay, what's the better discount? That's what matters with a used car when it comes to getting the best price. Now, that has nothing to do with getting a quality car. We have different steps we take to get a quality car. You got to get it. You have to check the Carfax. You have to look at the title. We don't want salvage title. We don't want frame damage. We don't want rebuilt titles. We don't want rentals. So you're checking the title. We're looking at accident history. We're looking at service records. We're checking to make sure that there's no bad data on that vehicle. It doesn't have electric problems, doesn't have software problems. We do all of this in literally 15 minutes. That's our steps for making sure we don't get a bad used car. But when it comes to pricing, you must know the original MSRP, or you can't. Nothing else matters when it comes to used car pricing. So that's all in my new book. Grab your copy. You'll have the entire blueprint for how we do this. Go ahead, Dolan. What do you do if your loan is upside down and you want to lease? Transfer it over. In my book, we have 2 ways to get out of a negative equity. There's 3 options with negative equity. 2 lead to a car, 1 does not. So just so you understand the severity of negative equity I call the bad credit for people with good credit. Because when I was at the dealership, people walk into Mercedes, and if they left with they could have an 800 score. If they had too much negative equity, they were not leaving with the car. So there's only 2 things that I've witnessed in my career that stop people from getting deals on cars. Credit's too bad, negative equity. So that means it's a serious thing. So what I say is understand the cause. The cause, which you seem to know already, Lavis, is you should be leasing, but you buy. That's why Lavis is asking about how going from a negative equity deal to a lease, because the taking out 5-year, 6-year loans is what you do. Then you go and you replace those cars in 2 or 3 or 4 years. You have negative equity. Happens all the time, especially to you who doing no money down deals. And to those of you who are putting down like 5, 10 grand, you don't have any negative equity, but you're losing that money. You're not getting that money back. You put down 5 grand, 10 grand on a car, then you come to trade it in 5 years, and you come to trade it in 3 years. You're not getting that 5, 10 grand back. You don't because it's just the car depreciates too much. So you're just throwing money at these cars that is not coming back to you. When you are going for a lease now, we have 2 ways that you're going to transfer to a lease from a negative equity deal. We're going to do our equity assessment. You're going to go to CarMax, go on these websites, CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, KBB, Instant Cash Offer, Car Gurus, and AutoNation. Sell my car. 6 offers. So they're going to give you 6 offers on your current car. Now, that is going to be the smallest amount of negative equity that you're going to have, because that's the best offers you're going to get. These are companies that fight every day to buy cars. That's what they do. So they're not lowballing. They're not saying, hey, we'll throw out one number here and then we'll negotiate. Hey, Charlene, good to see you. Good to see you, Michael Singleton. They're not doing that. They're coming in and saying, all right, we're going to put our best offer online. And then when we inspect the car, if there was something that you didn't tell us about the car, if there was something that you left out, we're going to need to deduct that when we inspect it. So they're putting their best offers online right there. And so that means that's going to be your lowest amount of negative equity, because you're getting the most for your car if you sell to one of them. So let's say your highest offer comes from a Car Guru's dealer who wants to buy your car for $19,000. Let's say you owe 21. You owe 21, they want to buy it for 19. Hey, Steve Long, what's going on? Good to see you. What should you do? You should pay the difference, because when you pay the difference, you're closing the deal with the least amount of negative equity. That's what you want. You're closing the deal with the least amount of negative equity. And so when you go buy your car, your next car, or lease your next car, rather, in your case, negative equity has nothing to do with the deal. So that's what you would prefer to do. Pay the difference and then go out and get bids for your lease and then do a clean deal. But now let's say, they offer you 19 and you owe 29. So you are now $10,000 upside down. You can't pay the difference. I don't have 10 grand to pay the difference. Okay. Now what you have to do is you have to transfer that negative equity to your next deal, which means you have to trade your car in. And we don't trade. We don't like trading because you can't get bids. What's up, Dion? Good to see you. You can't get bids. The reason why when y'all hear me say trading is a curse word is because you don't get the money your car is worth trading it. You don't get the money anything is worth trading it. So now you've bought this car, you found this deal, but now you have to go to the dealer and say, all right, I need you to take a look at my car. Now, what happens if Carvana offered you 19, but this dealer can only pay 17? It's just all they can pay. They can't match that offer. So you're going to have more negative equity in most cases when you have to do this. So, but that's okay. If you can't pay the difference, this is your only option. Now, it's very important for those of you who are trying to do negative equity trades and then go into a lease that you understand loan to value ratios, because that's what's stopping you from getting your deals. When you go to buy a car, the bank usually gives you 20% above the value of the car. That's the max the bank is going to really give a person with good credit. Sometimes a little more, but we'll use that it could go to 25%. Ridiculous banks will go to 30%, but 20% is really benchmark. So if the car you're buying is 40, the bank is going to lend you max 48,000. That's 20%. So no dealer, no bank. What's up, Benito? Nobody can get $50,000 approved on that $40,000 car. So when you buy your car, you're trying to buy the car, put the taxes in, put the fees in, and then throw the negative equity in. So the car was 40. Next thing you know, you're at 52, and you want to do a no money down deal. And you're wondering why you can't do a no money down deal, because the bank is saying we're not going to lend 52 on a $40,000 car. That's when they come to you and they'll say, hey, you got to put money down. Can you come up with $5 grand? Because we can't get the bank to approve it. It's loan to value. Now, also, what you need to keep in mind is when you can get big discounts off the vehicles, you can actually bring over more negative equity. When you look at Sean saved 20 grand off his vehicle. If he had to throw 7 grand negative equity on there, he could do it. If you had to throw it, honestly, he got a $20,000 discount. If he had to throw 20 grand of negative equity on here, he could do it. Payment's going to be high, but he could do it. It wouldn't affect the loan to value ratios because he got a huge discount off the vehicle. We talked about Tiffany. She got $6,500 off of her vehicle, her Mazda CX-90. If she wanted to slap $7,000 of negative equity on top of this deal, she could do it because she got a big discount. And the bank says, well, we're basing the loan off 44, not the fact you bought it for 36, 38. You got a big discount, but that we don't care about that. We're looking at 44 and we'll lend up to 51 or whatever. So if she gets $7,000 off and she wants to throw $7,000 in negative equity, the bank's going to say that's fine, no problem. So it has a lot. It has a lot to do with how much negative equity you have, and also what is the vehicle you're getting and how much discount did you get off that vehicle. That's what matters. So make sure you understand what's causing negative equity, which is for you. So because, like I said, Lavish seems to understand she's going into a lease, but the cause for negative equity is buying cars when you should be leasing. Very simple. Yeah, Bella, that's a $7,500 rebate, and that's not the only thing you should be thinking about. Like you want to look at what discount can you get in addition to the $7,500 rebate. That's how we have people that are saving, $15,000, $10,000, $20,000. They're getting the rebates for the electric vehicles, but they're also getting huge discounts from the dealers that are winning the bid. Go ahead, Dolan, shoot the next one out. Okay, all of this is in my new digital book. It's called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. This is the blueprint. This is 14 years of car business experience with Mercedes, with General Motors, and running my own brokerage and teaching thousands of people online how to get these below market deals and using a system. We don't wing it. It's not an accident. It's not like, oh, I hope this works. This is a particular set of things you do online to make dealers and banks bid, and success is guaranteed. If you trust my process and forget about your old way of no process, you will be fine. The success is guaranteed. So as part of my welcome offer, you can get the book for 75% off. It's normally $97 because it's worth every penny. I didn't want to price the book like it was a regular book because it's not. So it's normally $97, but for 30 minutes, you can get your copy for 75% off as long as you get to my TikTok bio, click the picture of me before 30 minutes is up. The welcome offer is only 30 minutes, then the price goes back up to $97. So you can go to my TikTok bio, go to my Instagram bio, click the website. You can go to the comment section on YouTube or the comment section on Facebook. Click the link and get your 75% off. But make sure when you get your book, you screenshot the thank you page, because it has the link right there to open the book. And then I also email you a copy, but sometimes you'll type your email in incorrectly and we can't email it. So you'll have my support team's email just in case. Is Capital One a good option to finance a car? We get bids. We spent a lot of time. You must have just jumped on, Jen. We get bids. There is no bank that is giving you the lowest rate. If a bank always gave you the lowest rate, they would be out of business. So when we consider what lenders, why do you think there's people in the money business? There are people in the money business. They don't care if you buy a car. I see you, Genome Hamilton. We'll get to you. Get that question from Genome on Facebook, Dolan, next. So why do you think there's people who are in the loan business? They don't sell cars. Banks don't sell cars, they sell money. So when you just see the overpaying, I told you guys, it's 3 prices you can pay for anything you get: market value, above market value, below market value. That means you can get a market value loan. That's the average. You can get an above market value loan, which is above average, 2-3 points higher than what you could have got just because you were lazy. Now you're paying not 8.2%, but you should have been paying 5.7%. But you just didn't bother. You just said, okay, I guess this is it. But below market deals come from competitive offers called bids. So when you are when Capital One should be a bank that you get a bid from, Navy Federal, Bank of America, Community Credit Union, Lightstream, everyone and anyone should be in the bank bidding war, because the more the better. So when you get my book, you get the bank bidding war blueprint. For those, every time you're going to finance a car, you would use that process to make banks and credit unions bid for your business, so that you guarantee you got the lowest rate. You don't drive off hoping you got the lowest rate when you didn't even make anyone shop. How would you have the lowest rate? There was no competition. We cannot get money off when there's no competition. The big money, the thousands of dollars off that you're seeing, is reserved for competition. This is reserved for people who make people compete for their business. That's what the big money is reserved for. Look, 4 days of leasing like a boss. Started with a Kia Telluride EX. That was my first choice. 15,000 mile a year lease, range from 642 to 753. Moved to Honda Pilot EX. All-wheel drive is choice B. Got quotes between 616 and 719 after contacting every dealer in North Carolina. We do this totally online, so Melissa's talking about the entire online process. The dealer I ended up leasing from originally quoted me 719, came down to 616 in 3 days, 0 at signing, 0.13% lease. This is what it's about. Competition. She knows she got the best price. You can't go to her and be like, Melissa, you think you could have did a little better? She's going to be like, look at all the offers I got. Do you think I could have did better? You're going to look and say, no way. See, competition is what gives you the peace of mind. Every time you buy a car, why don't you have peace of mind? Why are you driving away hoping? Driving away, oh man, you think we did all right? Should we have gotten tried to get more for the trade in? Shoot, we ended up putting 3,000 down. We only wanted to put 1,500 down. This is how you're leaving the dealership. Why? Because you're not making people compete. So when you're not making people compete, you're begging for discounts. And you have no leverage to be able to compare to even know that you got the best price. You have nothing to compare it to. So when people come on the stream and they're like, hey, Deshone, I'm paying $519 a month for this car. Is that a good deal? You have nothing to compare it to. Hey, I got a 2019 Mazda 3 for $17,000. Is that a good deal? You have nothing to compare it to. But if you had seen 7 Mazda 3s and then the one you got, it was originally, $31,000, but you paid, $17,000 for it. You know this. And this stuff is simple. This isn't building rocket ships. But this is reserved for the people who care about their finances. Everyone doesn't invest. Everyone doesn't save. Everyone doesn't, take financial literacy seriously in any way. But there are opportunities that flash past all of us where we can absolutely benefit from learning things that other people don't know. If you learn how to invest in stocks better than other people, you're going to do better than other people. If you learn how to get cars less than other people, you're going to get less than other people. This is not by accident. But you got to focus. This is your second most expensive purchase. So this is only for the people who are focused. This is for you. The blueprint, everything, my book, anything I do, the streams. The streams aren't for distracted people. We can't do nothing with distracted. There's people on here right now. They've got me on one channel, playing video games on the other channel, and then eating with another hand. And they think it's hard to win like that. And we're going to talk about a $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 transaction, and you're not even really focused. So I want the people who are focused to understand your success is guaranteed. Just by being locked in, your success is guaranteed. Because we have a process that you can trust that you no longer have to wing this car buying thing. I've been in this thing since 2006. Car buying is very predictable. New cars, used cars, leases. There is nothing a car salesman is going to say or type to me or send to me in an email or send to my people that I haven't seen before. I used to have to send those same emails, copy and paste them. It's so predictable. So once you understand that, you'll understand why we're able to get these deals. All we're doing is putting people against each other. Simplest terms. Simplest terms. But we do have some advanced stuff when it comes to leasing versus buying. Obviously, this is more advanced teaching that people don't understand. But getting the money off, it's competition. Competition. Go ahead, Dolan. Shoot the next one in. Jerome Hamilton, if I get a GM employee discount, can I get a better lease? Who knows if they're going to really give it to you? See, the problem is when you walk in and say, hey, I got a General Motors discount. All right, here, let me work you up these numbers. All right, it's $601 a month with $2,000 down. Oh, that's the GM price? Yeah, that's the GM price. How do you know that? How do you know the GM price? How do you know it's not $3,000 in rebates that I'm holding back? How do you know it's not $3,000 in rebates and I'm only giving you $1,000 of it? Here, hey, I also we have $1,000 rebate. I also put in there for you. Oh yeah, you did with the GM pricing? Yep. You don't know. You don't know. So no matter whether we get X plan, GM deal, Mercedes fleet, does not matter. Multiple offers, because when you get multiple offers, what you're going to see is that some people are not going to give you the GM discount. And some people are not going to give you the rebates. They're just not going to do it. It's in their DNA. An 80% dealer is going to try to make everything they can make. I'm not giving this guy the $2,000 rebate. Wow, come on, I'll sell his car to somebody else. So now you're going to deal with an 80% dealer and hope you can get a deal. No. Once you see the 20% that says, here's your GM discount, and here's a $3,000 rebate, and here's the price. And then you compare it to the others, you're going to see, oh, those guys were trying to get over on me. Of course, that's what they do. That's what they do. 100%. Go ahead, Dolan. We always get bids. Doesn't matter. You can't trust anybody to give you a price and give you all the rebates and give you the hidden money like they're your friend. That's just not going to happen. If they rather make the $5,000 themselves, why am I volunteering money that you're not even asking for? You came in and you asked for a GM discount. I'm giving that to you, maybe. But you didn't ask me about these rebates. You didn't ask me about, I don't need to volunteer this. This is how they look at it. So many times you get in there, you go, oh, give me the invoice price. Can you give me the invoice price? We got a deal. Man, if half these people that I've shown you on this stream had accepted invoice price, they'd be looking at these prices that they paid and saying, why the heck did I pay that price? Invoice price means nothing. What if you got a $7,000 rebate, $15,000 rebate on some of these vehicles? What if you got a $4,000 rebate? Invoice price has nothing to do with rebates. So now, all right, I'll take off $2,500 to get you the invoice, but what about, that's it? You happy with that? Yeah, that's all I want. My father told me get the invoice price and I got a good deal. All right, your father was sadly misinformed. Unfortunately, thank you. I'm gonna take a vacation on this commission that we just made $7,000 on you. My cut is probably $1,200. I got a nice pay. Thank you. Thanks to your dad too. It's a good guy. Good guy. Keep following his advice. This is how it goes. Unfortunately, these people are not your friends. And as a former car salesman, I keep it straight. I keep it straight because unfortunately, most people on here, you just I'm going to my car dealer. These people are not your friends. You invite Charlie over to barbecues. Charlie is my friend. He's been selling me cars for 20 years. Sold my dad cars. Once you start making him compete, next time you buy a car, lease a car, say, hey, Charlie, look, I'm going to get a number from you, but I'm also going to get numbers from a couple other dealers. Hey, what you mean? Watch Charlie get mad. Watch Charlie get mad. What you mean? What, you don't trust me? I've been doing business with you for 20, 30 years. Yeah, but I want you to actually, I just want to, this guy Deshone told me I need to shop around, always make sure, because it's a lot of money I could be leaving on the table. Oh, man, come on, man. See, that's a person that never wanted to compete. He would rather come to your barbecues, be friends with you so that you don't make him compete. Because the minute you start making dealers compete, you're going to see how much money you've been losing. That's the only way. It's the only way. You start making these dealers compete, you're going to see, dang, I've been overpaying. Some people right now getting phone calls right now. Hey, come on in. We're going to upgrade your lease. Good news. We're going to keep your payment around the same price. Who's getting these phone calls? Who's getting these phone calls? Good news. I can get you out of your lease right now and get you into a new lease about the same payment. Who's getting those phone calls? Who's getting those phone calls? I ain't been on since 5 a.m. KD. Chill out, bro. Chill out. Who's getting those phone calls? Right? Hey, come on in. I could get good news. I could get you in the brand new 2025. You don't even have to you don't even have to put no money down. Come on in, right? All of that, right? Everybody's getting those calls. Why? Because 2022 and 2021, they overcharged you and your payment is so high, even though deals are a whole lot better. They were better back then, but they put you in a high deal back then. Now what they're trying to do is keep you in that high deal, hoping you're used to it. And they want you to think that's normal. They want you to think, hey, Mr. Hayes, yes, you've been paying $750 a month since 2022. Good news. The market is all bad. The market's bad, right? Oh, yeah, I'm hearing that. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you're aware. Now, see, you say stuff, you don't even realize you say stuff that helps them make more money. That's why we don't talk in my system. There's no talking. But when you say, a lot of my friends been saying, man, these prices have been high. I don't even know if they ever going to come down. Yes, thank you. You're right. You're so right. We say the same thing in here every day, Mr. Hayes. But the good news is this. I can actually get you in a new vehicle and keep your payment around the same price as your old 2022. Oh, yeah, you can do that? Yeah. Man, well, I really like to come down. Yeah, but listen, things have not, interest rates are high, right? Have you been following interest rates? Yeah, I have been seeing that they're high and they've been high for a minute. Yeah, so that's all affecting the prices we can offer now. But, normally your price will go up by about $120. Normally you go into the 2025, but, I see you bought a car in the past and I was able to pull some strings, work with my manager, and we can get you on a new one, keep your price around the same. Okay, all right. When can I see it? Come on down. When can it come down? That price should be dropping from $750 to like $520 because the market is entirely different. There's been great deals out here since the daggone pandemic. It's been great deals. During the pandemic, we helped Bonita. Bonita got her Telluride. She got it for $600 a month during the pandemic. That's why I always show her deals. $600 a month. People are leasing these for $800 a month, $900 a month during the pandemic. This was 2022 when people were leaving out of the dealerships with axes in their heads. Couldn't believe how high they were paying. She believed $600 a month, her dream vehicle. So these deals have been out here. Look, Greg made this deal. Look, we've been making deals, below market deals. Look at Danielle. $44,000 vehicle, $550 a month, no money down. Charles, Palisade, $48,000 vehicle, $597 a month. Hyundai Palisade, top 5 SUVs in the market the last 3 years. So the people who tell you there's no deals, they don't know how to get them. So yes, when you go into, when you don't have strategy, I told y'all, I've said it, I think 3 times, maybe 4 on this stream. There's only 3 prices you can pay. Market value, that's what all the negotiators are going to pay. They think they did well. All they did is pay the average price of a negotiator. Now you got above market value. That's for the people who can't negotiate. You don't like negotiating. You're not good at it. You just close your eyes and hope that it works out for you. You're paying above market value. And then below market value, which is what you see these people pay because they're not negotiators. They make people bid. And when you make people bid, You don't have to be a negotiator. If someone comes in to fix, you want to get your kitchen redone, and they tell you, okay, it's going to be $50,000. Yeah, hey, is that your best price? All right, yeah, all right, because I'm going to have 3 or 4 other people come in and get a number too. Okay, well, I might be able to get you from like 50 down to like 45. Okay, it's all right. I'm going to have another person come. Another person says, I could do it for 41. Another person says, I could do it for 60. Okay, another person, I could do it for 42. Now you're creating competition, and all of them you tell, hey, I'm getting multiple bids, and they're going to give you their best offer. Doesn't mean they're going to win, but when they know you are getting other prices, they're going to give you their best offer. And that's what I tell you. When people say that's our best offer, Mr. Nunn, that's my best offer, Mr. Henderson, they're not lying to you. That's their best offer. They're not going any lower because they want to make a lot of money. Look, man, I'm making $6,000 on this car. If I can't make it, I'll sell it to someone else. I'll sell it to someone else. I don't need to sell. That's how the 80% of dealers think. You expect the incentive to get a lot better the next few months, especially Ram. What are the incentives now? Unless you can tell me that you shop multiple dealers for Rams and you can show me 5 different offers you've gotten on a Ram, you don't know what the incentives are now. How can we wonder if stuff's going to be better? What are you comparing it to? You went into one dealer, Dodge dealer, hey, how much is this Ram? They told you and you're like, oh, well, that's expensive. 80% dealer. 80% dealer. And again, the only way for you to see how much you've been overpaying is to start using these strategies that we teach for multiple offers. And I know, sometimes it's hard to face that. Sometimes you would rather not see how much you've been losing. And that's understandable. It doesn't make financial sense, but it's an emotional decision that's understandable. I don't want to know, Deshone. I would rather keep shopping the way I've been shopping and save no money or the same money rather than shop the new way and then see that the old way was costing me tens of thousands of dollars. That doesn't make financial sense. But the people when you ask, are the incentives good? You got to know what the incentives are now. That means we run the market. When I was shopping for my mother a couple years ago, I ran all the offers on a Mazda CX-5 for her in October. I didn't like the deals. I didn't like the lease offers. I contacted them again in November, emailed them all again. Hey, what do we look like in November? Didn't like the deals. Emailed them one more time in December. Or one of the dealers actually reached back out to me and said, hey, I got this car coming in. We did the deal in December. That is keeping track of incentives. That's monitoring programs. If I shop the Ram right now, it'll take me no more than 60 minutes to get literally 5 to 7 offers on Ram. Using my system, the 25 to 5 strategy in my book, I go into the book, I literally use my scripts, and in 60 minutes, 90 minutes, I'll have 5, 7 offers on Rams. That's just how it works. So now I'm able to look and see, all right, what type of discounts are they offering? What are the incentives? What are the programs? Do I like them? Do I not? All right, let me check back let me check back next month. Let me see if there's any new incentives. So that's the way it works. That's the way you move the market. We have to be able to monitor what the deals are. But I see, unfortunately, there's a lot of you who you want to try to fill for the bottom. That's just what you've been trained to do. It's a losing strategy. I would love for you, if I was still at the dealership, I'd love for you to come and try to fill for the bottom. Especially if I work for a manufacturer where we got rebates a lot. Come on in, fill for the bottom. You know $3,000 off is a good discount. When's the last time you got $3,000 off a vehicle? I just think, I think I might be able to get more. Okay, listen, we settle at 5. You don't know I had a $5,000 rebate, so you're just not going to know. So you can sit here and feel for the bottom all you want. It's not going to work. You're still going to leave wondering, hoping it's a losing battle. That's why I'm trying to tell you, stop doing it. Stop doing it. You're asking, okay, what's a good interest rate for this vehicle? You're trying to feel for the bottom instead of sitting at home the way my book teaches you and making people bid and come to you and have all of these people begging for you to do business with them. Oh, how much discount should I be getting off of a Toyota Camry? Feeling for the bottom. Instead of sitting at home, contacting 25 dealers online, using my strategies, using my scripts, and saying, okay, now I got 7 offers on a Toyota. Oh, I see the biggest one is giving me 5,000 off. Okay, that's the market. That's the below market. You cannot feel for the bottom. You can keep doing it. It's just a losing strategy. You're never going to get the discount, the maximum discounts, feeling for the bottom, walking into a dealer. It's just never going to happen. So for those of you who are tired of that, you're like, I don't want to be feeling for the bottom anymore, Deshone. I don't want to be worried about being a good negotiator, Deshone. I want to be able to have a plain, simple system for getting dealers and banks to bid for my business. That's what Cars from Home is, my digital book. 7 steps to saving time, money, and avoiding dealerships. You can get your copy for 75% off. That's my welcome offer. In my TikTok bio, click that picture of me, or click my Instagram picture, go to my bio, click the website, and then you'll see a button to activate your 75% off your book. Grab it. It'll be in your inbox. You'll have all the strategies necessary for paying these prices, the same prices you've been seeing me share throughout the stream. Or if you're on YouTube, I have a link for you in the comments. If you're on Facebook, I have a link in the comments for you. Grab your book, use it, and shop empowered. The old days are over. The days of going into dealerships, over. Spending more than 30 minutes in a dealership, over. You'll never do that again. Begging for discounts, over. Not knowing what to say, hoping, oh man, they told me don't tell them I had a trade. All of this garbage that they've been none of this stuff works because you're not employing competition. So all of those days of that's over. Watching social media videos, all right, man, let me try to remember this. All of that is over because we have the blueprint. It's already 5-star rated. You can Google it. Thank you to everybody who's reviewed the book on Goodreads. We appreciate you. We couldn't get to this many reviews and a 5-star rating without you guys taking the time to rate the book and review it. But grab your copy. As long as you get there before the 30 minutes is up, that welcome offer is only good for 30 minutes. After that, the book does go back up to $97, which is still a great price. But $24 is better than $97. So get there before the 30 minutes is up. TikTok bio, Instagram bio, YouTube comments, Facebook comments. Use the book and go win. All right? Unlearn everything you've been taught. That's the key. Leave everything you've been taught at the door. Trust this process. Success is guaranteed. All right? God bless you. I'll see you on the next stream. Look, so we're explaining how you can take negative equity. If you get a car that you end up getting with a big discount, you can bring the negative equity over. And this Ionic deal, when this person shared it with me that they got a couple days ago, they got a $49,000 vehicle for $325 a month. Using these systems, using what you're going to learn. But here's the thing. Let's say she had $7,000 of negative equity now. She could literally take that $7,000 into this 2-year lease. That her payment's only going to go up $291. There'll be some tax there, so let's just say it'll go up another $310, and we add that to our first $300. So her payment's $610. Normally, getting a $49,000 car, bringing $7,000 of negative equity over does not equal a $600 payment. That's a $1,100 payment. That's a $1,200 payment. But if you get the right car where you can get tons of money off. And right now, leasing some of these electric cars, as long as you know how to get these $15,000, $20,000 discounts off of them and lease them, this is a brilliant way to get out of negative equity, because once these electric car rebates and these electric car discounts go away, the market's very soft on these cars. Once they go away, we're not going to be able to move negative equity over to these leases and make it make sense the way it's making sense now. But for now, huge opportunity. That's what I will be doing. Driving an electric car for 2 or 3 years, taking the huge discount that I'll get from shopping around, and then bringing my negative equity over. And then once the lease is done, you have no more negative equity. You do a fresh deal, and you never have negative equity again. Just make sure when you lease, you get the mileage you need. Alexis Owens, welcome to the group. I see you just follow. Andre Guest, thanks for sharing. Shout out to the sharers. And shout out to the people who tap the screen. Every time y'all tap the screen, watch the likes go up. So if you hear something that you like, you're enjoying it, just start double tapping the screen. Y'all will keep running the likes up. So keep typing your questions in. We're live. Dolan, can you bring some of these questions? I don't know if you had time yet to get some of these questions we got on TikTok. Jason Davis, good to see you. Moni Love. Yes, I actually told Moni Love. She asked, do I provide broker services? I don't do broker services. I do something, in my opinion, we do it better, because a broker still is going to shop, and you're never going to know what their best deal really is. Brokers make a lot of money. I'm in New Jersey, where there's a lot of brokers. There's a lot of brokers in New York, and brokers make a lot of money, and they basically do it based on trust. If I have your trust and I got the ability to control your entire car deal from start to finish, I have the ability to control where you buy your car from, returning your old lease, could be equity in that. I'm controlling all your money, and I'm controlling it based on a trust system. Then I have, and the thing that's better about being a broker, which is why really, you know who becomes brokers? Car salesmen who get tired of small commissions. Because car salesmen, when we're selling cars, we're getting probably on average 20% of the profit. And if the profit is $3,000, if the profit's $10,000 and we bring home $2,000, okay, that's cool. But brokers, all right, if the profit's $10,000, I could bring home $5,000. I'll split it, because the dealerships look at a broker as another dealer. So that's who usually becomes brokers. People who look and say, man, I'd rather make 2-3 times the money on each car, because I'm my own dealership. So what we do is we work with people and show you how to get all your numbers yourself, show you how to get the market reports yourself. If you use what's in my digital book, Moni, you could become your own broker, because no one actually shops cars the way we do. We do market assessments. So when we're leasing a car, we reach out to 25 dealers online. We never have to talk to them, and we get 5 offers, at least 5, sometimes 7, sometimes 10. New cars, we reach out to 25 dealers online using scripts, email scripts that I wrote. They're already wrote. You don't have to think about them. They're already written out. And then we get 5 offers. And then for a used car, we shop the market. We assess the market from the low side to the high side. We narrow down used cars based on title record, service history, accident history. We verify there's no bogus fees that they're going to try to charge us. Who's done that? You go to the dealership thinking you're going to get one price, and then they hit you with these other fees. This is what you do to avoid these things. We have to have a process for this. And so you could do this and become your own broker, but I would never recommend a broker, because unless they're going to give you a spreadsheet. If they're going to give you a spreadsheet of all the work they did, all the dealers they shopped, all the entire market that they assessed for you, then that's a broker that I would hire. And no one does that except us. We'll be launching that service very soon. Very soon. So the people who like Deshone, man, I mean, if I could just pay y'all to run this whole and do your whole system for me, that's coming very, very soon. But for now, you may want to, shop with us. We have 3 ways that we can help you. 2 ways now. Do it yourself. That's get my book. That's the whole blueprint. If you're a do-it-yourself, Deshone, just give me the blueprint. As long as the blueprint's official, I'll get it done. That's my digital book. You can get it for 75% off in my bio. In my TikTok bio, Instagram bio, the comments, you get it for $24 if you get there before 30 minutes. And the done with you, that's when we're doing it together. You're looking at coaching videos, and I'm walking you through it, and I'm supporting you. That's also in my bio. So again, what's coming soon is the done for you, But and you know, that's our commitment, to be the best company in the world for the car buyer. So we're getting there, slowly but surely. All right, go ahead, Dolan. Let's get to some more questions. Keep typing questions. What's up, Martin? See a lot of people checking in on TikTok. Chris, good to see you. Can you do this with Tesla? Great question. Right now, Tesla is very soft. They have a set price, though. They don't negotiate. So what they do is when you're buying a new Tesla or leasing it, you know you don't need to get bids, because getting bids is to avoid overpaying. Getting bids is to avoid buying a car from one place and another place over here would have sold it for 5,000 less. Tesla operates similar to like the Apple store. You going to get an iPhone in California, it's the same price for the iPhone in Florida, same price in New Jersey. So you don't need to shop around for an iPhone. It's a set price. That's Tesla. But any other car is different. Every other car, it's different prices. 3,000 more here, so that's the difference. But with a Tesla, you still need to divide it. If you're going to lease it, you need to understand whether you should buy or lease it. That's based on how long you're going to keep it. And this is proving the point. The point about depreciation that we've been preaching. I've been preaching depreciation so many years to people who say, well, I don't lease cars, Deshone. They limit you on mileage. That's not true. You can pick your mileage up to 30,000 miles a year for most cars. You know, Deshone, I don't like to lease. I'm going to beat my car. They want you to have the car perfect. That's not true. They give you normal wear and tear. You can bring the car back with dings. You can bring the car back. They expect 3 years of wear. What they charge you for is excess wear, which is similar to negligence, abuse. If you have a baseball-sized dent, that's the stuff. But depreciation, Tesla is proving that people should not have been buying these cars because their cars are depreciating almost worse than any other car on the market. And they sold you based on, we have this brand, Tesla, and people went out and buy these cars. They didn't want to lease, didn't listen to the advice. Now they bought a $50,000 car that lost 20% of its value in a year. These cars that were 40,000, they can get them for 30. This is the dramatic depreciation. Now, had you leased these Teslas, had you leased them, it wouldn't matter to you. You drop it off after 3 years, you pay your low payment. See, leasing protects you against depreciation. Car values drop through the floor, no problem. I'm good. The buyers, that's a horrible situation. I would hate to be in a Tesla that I bought 2 years ago and see the values dropping the way they're dropping. Okay, but yeah, that's what we did. That's the only part of the system that we don't have to shop around for, Brian, which is where we're going to buy the Tesla from. But we still need to understand if a lease makes sense. Divide the monthly payment into the MSRP. If it's 1% or less, you got to steal. If it's between 1% and 1.5%, that's a good deal. The lower, the better. We don't lease vehicles over 1.5. A lot of people got bad lease deals. A lot of people driving around right now in bad lease deals. They put a ton of money down. Their payments are way too high. Give you an example. Look. I'll give you an example. Look at Raphael. $45,000 Jeep Grand Cherokee, $549 a month, no money down. $45,000 Jeep Grand Cherokee, no money down, $549 a month. That's great value. India. Look, she got a Hyundai Elantra, limited, with the leather and everything, $365 a month, no money down. That's a below market lease. A lot of people, their problem, they got a couple things going wrong with them with leasing. One, they don't understand depreciation. Two, they're not choosing the correct mileage that they need for the lease. Three, they're overpaying for the leases because they're not getting multiple offers. And so when these people tell you, if that's you and you're like, oh man, I don't like leasing, I see why. You're doing it wrong. Follow our system, your leases will be great. You'll pay less than everyone. And that's what we do. Go ahead, Dolan, shoot the next question up. Keep typing your question. Greg the Barber, good to see you, man. I ain't seen you in a while. Good to see you. Greg the Barber, Taz, good to see you. What's going on, Simba girl? Good to see you. Leroy Rogers, stay posted. We got you. I have a 2022 Lexus paid for. Want a new Porsche 2024 or 2025 to buy versus lease. If you're gonna, are you keeping the Lexus? I would listen now. If you bought that Lexus and you're looking to replace it, you're gonna lose a ton of money. And if you pay cash, which is you either paid cash or you paid it off very quickly, what you're going to see is when you go to replace, first thing you would do is decide, are you keeping this next bill? I'm going to give you your first two steps, Leroy. First two steps. They're easy. How many years are you going to keep the next vehicle? Is it less than 8? Then we should be shopping for a below market lease on the Porsche. That's very simple. Are we going to keep the Porsche more than 8 years? Then we can buy it, because we're going to avoid all depreciation with a long-term buy. If I got a Porsche outside and I kept it for 8, 9, 10 years, at least 8, then that's okay. Even if I overpaid for it, which I don't want you to overpay. If you really listen to me, then not only will you win with depreciation, but you'll pay less money for a Porsche than anyone else. I helped somebody get a Porsche Macan. He got 10, 15 grand off. He got so much money off, he didn't even understand the numbers. He just said, I had to get like 10 to 15 grand off of this because he had shopped it his way and he saw the numbers were so much higher. And then he met me, he used our system, and the price dropped by like 200, 300, close to 200, 300 a month. And he was like, I had to save like another 10, 15 grand off of this. I'm like, yeah, that sounds right. So that's the first question. You're going to keep it for 8 years. If you're going to keep it for 8 years, then we buy the Porsche. And what you would do is you would now assess the value of the Lexus. If you're going to sell it, you're going to go to CarMax, Driveway, Carvana, KBB Instant Cash Offer, Auto Nation, and Car Gurus. Again, I'm going to write that down. These are the companies we sell our cars to that we get bids from. We don't trade cars. We do not trade cars. The only people that have to trade cars are people with negative equity. That's why we want you to come out of negative equity. We don't trade cars. We sell our cars. And in fact, when you trade your car, you think you're trading it, you're actually selling it. That's why it's on that contract. It's on that buyer's order is, I'm selling you my old car for this amount. So we get bids, six companies, Carvana, Kelly's Blue Book Instant Cash Offer, and this takes 20 minutes. So if you're committed to your money, you're going to do this. It doesn't matter if it's that's why, look, unlearn. It doesn't matter if this is a new process. Deshone, I never did it like this. Okay, then keep losing money then. These are your 6 companies: Carvana, KBB Instant Cash Offer, Auto Nation, CarMax, Driveway, Car Guru, Sell My Car. That's step 2 in my book. So what we just went over with Leroy was the first 2 steps. One is deciding if we're going to buy or lease. How do we do that? We find out, are we keeping our car more than 8 years? If yes, we're going to buy it. Are we keeping it less than 8 years? We're going to shop for a below market lease. That's how we're going to beat depreciation. Now, once that's decided, we move on to our equity assessment. And that's what he's about to do. Go to those 6 companies, get the offers. Greg the Barber, I can't get my wife to understand leasing is better than buying because we trade cars every 2 years. Just bring her on here and show her the numbers. Just show her the numbers. Show her what a below market lease looks like. Look, Rosalie, she gets a $60,000 vehicle, $592 a month. $60,000 QX. That vehicle is $1,300 a month to buy. Let's continue. Teddy, $73,000 BMW. $856 a month. Now these are below market leases. If your wife is looking at commercials and saying, they want us to bring $3,000 down, all of these deals are no money down leases. You got to understand something. What you see on commercials are never going to be deals. A deal is when a dealer doesn't want to make it, but they have to. They decide, I have to make it, I need the number, whatever. That's a deal. A deal is not a commercial that's seen by 10,000 people that come on in and get these prices. So look at Sabrina, $65,000 vehicle, $579 a month. So below market leases, how do you get them? Multiple offers. I have the best system, in my opinion, and a lot of people's opinion, for doing this because we do it from home. The Cars from Home system is the best system for getting multiple offers from home. So you can get your book. My new digital book is called Cars from Home, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. And you'll have the entire blueprint on getting below market leases, purchases, new cars, used cars. And you can get it for 75% off as part of my welcome offer. It's normally a $97 book. It's worth every penny. You can Google it. You can see it's 5-star rated. But as part of my welcome offer, you can get it for 75% off for 30 minutes only. In my TikTok bio, my Instagram bio, the Facebook comments, or the YouTube comments. But you got to get there before 30 minutes is up. It's numbers. It's numbers. See, numbers shock people out of emotion. Me talking to you about why leasing makes sense, that's not enough to break the programming of people who programmed you not to lease. That's why I go right to the numbers. Now, yes, I'll explain depreciation, what's making these numbers so low, what the risks are taking of not leasing, and then the car depreciates and now you lost money because if you were going to sell a car for a certain amount and it depreciated 10,000 because you put a lot more miles on it, then your car is worth a lot less, you lost money. So I could talk to you about that, but bigger than anything is, hey, let me show you these lease payments on below market leases. That's what got me. When I was in GM, my manager said, hey, D, you want I was like, hey, I need a car. He was like, hey, you know anything about leasing? I was already selling cars and I really didn't understand leasing. And he helped me at 22 years old get my first lease. It was a $20,000 car, $256 a month. I had friends that had brand new cars. They were paying double. And mind you, these weren't fancy. These were These were Honda Civics, Toyota Corollas. They were paying $500 a month. I'm paying $256 a month for a similar price car. I never got in trouble. I got the mileage I needed. Drove 12,000 miles a year at the time. I needed that. One lease, I drove 15,000 because we were doing more miles. I bumped it to 15,000 a year. Leasing is a numbers thing. We drive off the lot in the same exact car. Your payment's double mine. You lost. Now, in the long run, if you keep the car, pay it off, and keep it for 8, 9, 10 years, then you didn't lose. But if you think we're going to drive off in the same car and your payment's $200-300 more a month than mine, because you say, oh, well, I'm buying mine, no, this thing's going to be paid off one day, then you lost, man. I don't care what you do. Look, see me in a couple years. Look at how much more money is in my bank account than is in your bank account. The money that's in my bank account is in your car. It's going to the bank every month. I do this, man. I'm trying to desperately shout from the hills to get people to stop buying these cars if they're not keeping them 8 years. Losing you've already lost thousands of dollars. Thousands, you've already lost. Once you come over to understand this, you'll realize that I should have been doing this 10, 15, 20 years ago. I'm paying off my cars, flipping them, paying them off, flipping them, buying them, not even paying them off, flipping them. I'm trying to flip cars. I'm trying to flip depreciating assets in the short term. So many reasons why this doesn't work. I could kill this all day long. But again, it comes down to the numbers. Below market lease deals, there's no comparison. All right. But you'll have the system for how to get them in my book. So it's a digital book. So it'll be in your inbox before you even get off this stream, as long as you get there before the 30 minutes is up. Go ahead, Dolan. Shoot the next question in. Keep typing, y'all. We'll get through as many as we can. Yep. Energy guy for life. I have a car bought, but I owe more than it's worth. How do I get out? We talked about that. That's actually what we started the show with. So what I would do is I would go to either YouTube, Facebook, and rewind it, watch the beginning, because we started talking about the first question we got was about negative equity. So we spent time talking about how you need to maximize your value, get offers. I don't want to go over it again because there are people on here who is anybody who needs to hear about negative equity? Type of 1 if you need to hear about negative equity. We might hit on it again. But there's a lot of people on here that were on here earlier that they heard about it maybe 20 minutes ago. But we'll see. If a lot of people end up saying they want the question, then we'll come back. But again, I don't like to spend 10 minutes or 7 minutes answering the question and then another 20 minutes down the road I answer the same question. All right, go ahead. Let's go, Dolan. Bring the next one up. Let's go. Do you have your book in hard copy? No, it wouldn't be available in hard copy because it wouldn't be good to do in hard copy. Websites change rapidly. Vroom, we used to get bids from. Vroom bought a lot of our cars. They were in the bidding process when we sold our cars to them. They were in our equity assessment process. And when we shop for used cars, we use a process I call the multiple marketplace strategy. They were in our multiple marketplace strategy. They go out of business. If you were using a hard copy of my book, you not only have to get another copy, you be going on websites that no longer exist. And that just wouldn't be an ideal experience. Thank you, Bridget. That wouldn't be an ideal experience. Another thing about the digital book is we get to actually link you to scripts. This is an online process. So if you're not comfortable with a digital book, this may not be for you. I'm just being honest with you. This is not for everyone. You need to be able to copy and paste, email. Like, this book wouldn't be for my dad. That's just real. My dad wasn't really comfortable with copy and pasting and sending emails because he doesn't need to do it for his daily life. He can send an email. It's just going to take him a couple. So when we're using our system, we're doing a lot of copying and pasting, opening up websites. So it wouldn't make sense to have a physical book there because I have scripts that we use. I have online calculators that we use that I invented. There's 5 calculators in the book that I actually invented, wrote the code for. You can't get them on Google. So these are all some of the reasons why it could never be a print book. It wouldn't make sense.